Most of them annoy me. All of them annoy me.
Goods are the whole heart of trade. What's
You
the
feel
world?
the same
Not
way?
now. It's his own fault.
I want to get into the city. Can you get me in?
Have you tried to get in yet?
Yes, I went to the gate.
And you got turned away, right?
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Okay. I can offer you a way to get into the city, but it's risky because you might not get out again. At least not if they confiscate your ID.
Why won't I be able to get out?
All right. I just hope things don't go the same way they did with Cooper. The clerics have shut the city up tight. They won't let anyone who doesn't have a valid ID through the gate. Not in, not out.
Why would the clerics stop people leaving the city?
They're stopping them meeting up with us. That's what I heard. Paranoid assholes. Anyway, we're off the point. You want in, right? And I can give you a counterfeit ID that will get you in. But once you're inside there, I need you to go and take an ID card to Cooper. That way he can come back out again. Like I say, I can get you in, but I also need you to help me out. You good with that? Does that sound like a deal?
Deal. Give me the ID, and I'll meet Cooper.
Good. Right. That's the plan. Long term. You see, Wick has all the blank IDs. So before I can get you an ID, I need you to get me Wick.
Where is Wick?
Well, that there is a good question. You see, he's been gone for a while. He'd gone over to the ruins to see if there was anything worth scavenging there, and hasn't come back. You should look for him over to the northwest if you're in a hurry to get into the city. Just look through all the houses. He should still be there, scavenging.
Something like that.
Nah.
Yeah, it needs to be totally reworked, if you can get the spares.
I feel really bad about it.
Get something to drink first.
I don't know the guy. Suppose I never will now.
A few shards and all this will be easier.
You want to cross him? You're crazy.
The ELEX. The ELEX is behind most of this. I can feel it.
Over there.
Too easy. I won't get in now. It's broken. There's nothing here. There's nothing here.
Look out! I must remember these ruins. I would like to return to them someday.
I need the shards. It's as simple as that.
Not now.
I feel really bad about it.
Wick is dead, but I found the ID cards on his body.
Dead? Shit. I told him whatever was there wasn't worth the risk. But Wick would do anything if it would mean him getting 2 shards he could tap together. Ah, well, give me the blank ID card. I'll work it up for you now. So, done. 1 fake ID ready to go.
Give me the counterfeit ID.
Okay, wait a second. Your image has to be added there first. So, done. Here's your ID. And this is the ID for Cooper. Take it to him. But make sure the clerics don't see it, see him, or see you handing this over. And do it as soon as you get in there. He's been at risk too long as it is. We don't need him being held, or worse, turned into a vegetable by the suggesters.
I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I believe it. If someone hears that.
I am going, all right?
Yeah, I think I'm done here.
I feel really bad about it.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit. Halt! No one...
You know counterfeit IDs are being sold right in front of your gate.
What? Have you got one? Show me. Well, that's good quality work, too. I'm not sure I would have spotted that as a fake. Thank you. We need citizens like you around here. You've done me a service, so I'll give you a valid ID. Just make sure you take this fake straight to Eric when you get inside, right? Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them. That sort of security is why we need to keep a rein on fake IDs. So take that fake straight to Eric, okay? Anyone you meet in the city who hasn't got proper documents, report them to him. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here, until they cause trouble. So keep the peace while you're in there. Our suggesters are busy enough without you adding to their workload. And that's it. You may pass.
What's happening in the city?
Nothing right now, but it's simmering. You can feel it. There was something building even before we let those Alp separatists in here. They just lit the touch paper. But hey, we're supposed to be a sanctuary, so someone decided to open the gates and let the separatists in.
How many separatists are there in the city?
Too many. Once an Alb, always an Alb. They still hit ELEX. It's just a matter of time before they turn back. I don't know what they want in the city. I'd heard a bunch of them had set up a base in the west of Abessa, so they could have gone there. We weren't so busy here, we'd have tracked them down and cleared them out of Abessa. Last thing we need is Zakor thinking we're harboring rebels.
I heard you hold people prisoner if they can't prove their identities.
Of course. Need a valid ID to enter or to leave. It's important we keep the right balance here, and that we can hold people accountable. We've worked hard to keep things running here. We can't start letting people flood in, or the troublemakers will take over. Anyone who tries to get around with ID is given straight to the suggesters to be taken care of.
What's a suggester?
Our suggesters are the reason things remain peaceful in the city. If someone causes trouble, then they're either thrown out, see a suggester for reorientation, or both. But don't worry, it's a positive experience that will leave you happy about life. Even so, I recommend avoiding it.
You mentioned the Council of Magalan.
The Great Council, yes. You'll have to speak to Judicator Alois if you want to know more about that. I'm not that well informed on my history.
Where can I find Eric?
Just go straight down the path into the inner city. You should find him there.
Who's Alois?
Alois is the Judicator in charge of the city. You'll find him in the castle. He likes to stay close to the generators.
Do you believe that? Really believe it?
That guy wouldn't know his ass if a troll ripped it off and showed
Not
it.
again. What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
I'm for the clerics.
You think they bring security? That they protect us? They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in ELEX, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the ELEX. All of it, no matter where it is.
We won't get in their way. We don't want ELEX. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing. No, it's the clerics.
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
Yes, I have something for you.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric-infested dome. I don't know if Hunter promised you a reward, but here's something for me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
That was remarkable.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics?
You get right to the point.
And
I'm for the clerics.
you think they bring... They say... But... No, you...
The Albs are more...
But... So...
Yeah.
We...
Why don't you do something to stop?
What's that got to do with you? You expect me to trust you just like that?
Hunter said
Why didn't he come himself?
he was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. Did
No, he didn't.
Shit. He was supposed to get me an ID card. Fucking clerics. What am I supposed to do now?
That was remarkable.
Not now.
Hey, you.
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's allowed to move about freely here. I just have a question for you. You got here recently, right? I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on out there? Are the Albs attacking?
There are raids, but there have been no major assaults recently.
I'm sure that's just the calm before the storm. I just hope the dome holds. There's a lot of people depending on this dome of mine, so they pass us by like a river around a rock. Kalan gave us the knowledge, and now look what we've achieved. A safe harbor for all people. The clerics and Ignadon say we've strayed. I say we've found the true path.
You built the dome?
I designed the plans for it, then we built it together. My name is Eric, by the way. Chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Ignadon?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy, and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to cover the Hort with a shield like this. Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Albatech?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
Malfunctioning energy regulators sound dangerous.
Of course they are. Outside of frying yourself if you try to adjust them. If we were attacked right now, the whole dome would go critical.
I have a forged ID for you.
Are you trying to get me angry? Let me guess. Gregor, the dome guard, sent you. I told him 1,000 times I'm not responsible for these things. Alois is the city's supervisor. You should report such matters to him. Go on, go and play Gregor's messenger boy.
I will take the ID to Alois.
Ah, no, it's all right, it's all right. Just give it here. I'll take care of it. Shit, I'm sorry I bit your head off. It's just, I've got enough to deal with without getting bogged down in the petty stuff. But Gregor keeps sending me every task he comes across. If there's trouble with the generators or the dome, then I'm your man. I have enough to deal with without counterfeit passes or toilet breaks for guards or shortages of hinges in the West Quarter. Still, that's not your problem. Thank you for bringing me the pass. Please take your reward for honorable service to the dome. I'll check to see who this ID was customized for. Then a suggester can take care of the rest. A seat like this can only lead us to uncovering a greater lie.
About the broken energy regulators. What will happen if they aren't repaired?
If just one regulator fails, it could mean an emergency shutdown for the dome. Otherwise, the discharge it would create could kill a whole lot of the people the shield is supposed to be protecting. But whether it's a discharge or an emergency shutdown, both scenarios would see us defenseless.
How many energy regulators are broken?
Well, all of them. I've sorted replacements where I can. But Lutz hasn't received his yet.
I will help you with the energy regulators.
I'd wanted to do it myself, but do you really think you could handle it? So, let's find out who you are. You should go to Ignadon one day. You could be a good cleric. Yeah, I know, I left Ignadon behind, but they could offer you better training than I could. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
Am I crazy?
Not now.
Or is our generator
Not
power
now.
fluctuating?
I'm staying out of it.
What is it you want?
Who are you?
You first. Come on. Who are you? There is something that is familiar about you, but I can't quite place it. No matter, I suppose. All people are welcome in Abessa, as long as they are prepared to forget their past. Even elves are allowed in here. I think elves would be perfect people if they weren't so emotionless. But then, that is why they are the only faction I have never belonged to.
What do you mean? You mean you want to become an elf?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, then I will tell you, of course.
My personal quest is to discover more about Magalan and the people who live here. I would like to know more.
There. Shall I tell you then?
Let me think about it. Tell me your story. How did you end up joining the clerics?
Right. I'll give you the full version. Well, the short version of the full version.
Just get on with it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So, I grew up in Goliath in Adan. My father and mother were both born berserkers, and so that meant I was too. Back then, Jar ruled over Goliath. As a child, I had no interest in the laws, of course. But when I was about 12 years old, one of the warlords came to our home. He took my parents, and I was left on my own to survive in the city. I remember him. I remember my parents leaving. And I remember me screaming. But everything else is gone. It's just a blur.
What happened to your parents?
Well, what else? They were exiled. Nobody ever told me why they were exiled. I still don't know what they did, even today. I hate the Berserker laws. Nothing against the Berserkers. They're just people. It's the laws I hate. I think what the Berserkers want to do with Magellan is right. But I can never forgive them for what they did to my parents. Why was I punished for whatever my parents did? Why wasn't I told what had happened? I swore never to return, and I haven't set foot in Idan again.
Where did you go?
Wherever I needed to survive. That meant running from reavers and wild animals. It didn't take long for some reavers to take me captive. And then, I don't want to talk about that. I was lucky, though. After several years, the reavers were attacked by some of the Duke's outlaws, and they took me back to Tavern. I learned how to fight, how to live off scrap. Life wasn't much different from Idan, but there wasn't the same raptor shit. The laws. You could be who you were, and no one judged you.
And why didn't you remain with the outlaws?
Because the reavers who'd taken me captive came to the fort and wanted to speak to the Duke. I think they wanted to take me back. I fled when they saw me. I didn't want to be taken back, or for them to kill me to hide their crime. When I left the fort, I ran into a cleric patrol. They convinced me to go to the Hort with them. Not that I really needed that much convincing. All those hours taking scrap apart and putting it back together in Tavar really paid off for them. The clerics recognized that I was good with technology. So, I've been working on mechs and AI systems since then. Building things. Trusted. Part of a team. And it's easier being with mechs. They don't judge anyone. They treat everyone the same. Like this place. I know it's not perfect. But outlaws, berserkers, clerics, even elves are seen as people. At least that's the vision. Not always the way it happens. That's another reason to maintain these mechs. To protect what we have here. Well, I hope you find your place in the world. It's good when you do.
Find someone else to talk to.
What are you doing here in Abessa?
I take care of the mechs and drones here in the city, which means I coordinate and plan their maintenance and upgrades. When I'm lucky, I get to roll up my sleeves and do some of the actual maintenance, which I'm having to do quite a lot with all the technicians we're missing. Say, are you good with technology?
I know the basics.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't be enough, I'm afraid. We don't really have time to train people on the job. Not if they're not going to stay here for good. And you don't look the type for that. On the other hand, if you're looking for some part-time work, I could still use your help. I have 4 people I've been told I should look at for taking the technician's job, but I don't have time to gauge their abilities. Would that be something you could do for me? I'd pay you.
Yeah, I'll talk to your candidates.
Great. The 4 names I have are Daryl, Naira, Rorik, and Riley. Though I'm really not sure about Riley. There's something about him I don't trust. But speak to each of them and let me know whether you think they might have the right skills and abilities for the job. Oh, and I'll need you to let me know about their loyalties. You know, can they work with clerics? Do they hate us? We'd be trusting them with the mechs and AI that defend the Dome City. So I don't want to employ anyone who might still be thinking about their faction, not our security.
I'll see you later.
I'm leaving.
I'm sorry. That's the suspicion business you should be lying.
There is nothing for you in here. There is nothing for you in here. Leave now. I will have to make myself clear. Smart decision.
Look out!
Yes? Is there something urgent? I have a lot to do, as you can imagine. This city does not run itself. So, please excuse me if I'm short with you. This city is made up of a whole mass of confusion. Everyone looking for a new start. No one able to forget their past. They need a leader to hold things together.
You're in charge here?
Well, let's say that I'm the person holding all these threads together. There's no ruler here, we all work together. Everyone here wants something. Whatever you're searching for, it will only add to the list of demands we already face. And providing for the people we already have is a logistical challenge. That means to accommodate everyone we're on strict rations, and those rations have to be earned.
I can imagine.
How long have you been in charge of the Dome City?
I've been in office for 8 years now, and it hasn't been easy. Maintaining a neutral position to the factions while fighting the Albs. By Kalan, there really are more pleasant posts they could have appointed me to.
What if someone wanted to replace you?
Some have tried. Yet I am still here. This city was created by the Great Council of Magalan. They made the clerics custodians of this place and their legacy. The Great Council may be long gone, but what they stood for, a unity of purpose, a future for all of Magalan together, that is something we still believe in here. So, it is our job to remain neutral. It is our job to serve all, no matter their background, however hard our residents make it for us.
Listen, the council is gone. Why care about what they said?
You don't think that was a better time? Laws for prisoner exchange that assured borders, set rules for trade. Even if you don't care about the blood spilled since the council's rule was broken, the clerics swore to a code, and that includes keeping our oaths. And an oath was sworn to the council by my forefathers. That makes it my duty to see that oath is kept.
How are things here in the Dome City?
Tense. The battles out there are always reflected in here. Tensions run high if the outlaws attack the clerics, or the clerics attack the berserkers, and there's always the fear of an alb invasion. Those tensions drive greed, anger, and fear. There is war out there, and here your shards will be stolen from your hand if you aren't careful. It's like the world has gone crazy.
Why have things become so bad?
A whole host of reasons. Maybe it would help you if I tell you how things are. The berserkers have lived more and more reclusively ever since the pilgrim went into his retreat. The outlaws are more organized now the Duke has taken power, and the Alb separatists seek shelter with us to escape the powers in Zakor. All told, very dark signs that we'd face another global catastrophe. And here we are, in the middle.
Are you having a lot of trouble here in the city?
Keeping the factions together is always an issue. The outlaws are always up to something, but things have gotten worse, and to cap it all, we've had a sharp rise in thefts. I believe an organized group has started operating here. Not the usual outlaws. This group seems to be outside the factions. From the little I've heard, they're more like a secret society than your regular set of theft-mongers. I've offered a large bounty for any information that leads to their capture. And capture would be best. I want to find out who their connections are. If you can find out more about this secret society, I can make you rich.
Is there something I can help you with?
If you want to help, there is something that has to be taken care of quickly. You must have noticed that the mood is very heated here. One more issue, one wobble, and everything we've held together here will fall to pieces. One of my people has reported that the outlaws are expecting a weapons delivery. The last thing that this city needs is more weapons. And who knows who the outlaws will sell them to. I want you to intercept this delivery and bring it to me.
About the outlaws' weapons delivery. You've been using informers to try and catch them?
Of course. Information is key to keeping the peace. But there are always things you miss. And missing things leads to nasty surprises. And I'd rather be the one dealing those out than receiving them. Particularly when it comes to outlaws. Are you going to show me that you are the exception?
I'll take care of that problem for you.
Good. Very well then. Your target is a woman. Her name is Paige. Get her talking and hope that she brings you in on her plan. Take these shards. You may need them to buy yourself some trust. You'll have to find Paige yourself. She's a slippery customer, and we've lost track of her.
Contact? Is there something I should know about her?
Apart from the fact that she's one of the outlaws, no. As soon as you get those weapons or any information, just make sure you bring them to me.